Hello, my fellow investors. It is almost the end of 2023. We have a few more days to go, and I figured for this video, I want to cover two things. One of them being, I want to take everybody through my first portfolio and then compare it to the current one that I have. And I want to show you guys all the differences when it came to the way I was investing to just performance in general. And the second thing that I would like to take a look at, it is the goals that I set for myself at the end of 2022 for 2023. Let's take a look at which ones I accomplished, which ones weren't accomplished, and see if we want to take any out, add any in for 2024. So with that said, let's get started with this video. Alright, so for anybody who's new here on the channel, y'all know that, I currently have a Schwab portfolio, as you guys see over here. It's currently doing really well, as y'all can see. In fact, when it comes to total gains, I'm up almost $20,315. Now, majority of this is mainly from a few companies that are just rising up like no tomorrow. For example, Broadcom, as well as Chevron, which I bought at like $101 when it comes to the average share price. But all in all, I started investing in this kind of method, dividend investing mainly, at the beginning of 2020. And I did take advantage majority of the fall when COVID hit. However, this wasn't always the case. In fact, here is my portfolio when I first started investing ever. This was like at the beginning of like 2016, I believe it was. And it was a Robinhood portfolio. And here is my Robinhood portfolio, my first portfolio ever. Now, I show this every single year because it gives a nice comparison to how I was when I first started investing. Didn't know what I was doing, right? I always tell the story that I bought Microsoft at like $80, sold it, didn't know what I was doing, had no strategy. And now Microsoft is one of the biggest companies out there with like $380. And I bought it back when it was like 80. So if I would have implemented the current strategy back then, I would have been up significantly more than what I am today when it comes to Microsoft. However, I still like to make this comparison to show people the fact that, I do come from humble beginnings, right? I do come from humble beginnings like everybody does. So here we have, guys, my portfolio. And you can see I did start investing, it was 2018, sorry. It was January 22nd of 2018 when I first started investing. You can see that I had around like $1,000 over here. And at this point of the game, I was just mainly buying shares like normal, Microsoft, Apple, that kind of stuff. And then, I started going into options. As you can see that it was going very good. It went up to around $1,095, up 8.16%. At this point, I'm like, man, this is looking absolutely great. And then it took an absolute tumble, falling from 1,095 to 494. It rebounded nicely though, as you guys could see, to around 1,200. And then, with the whole tariffs things that were happening back in like 2018, 2019, remember the tariffs with China? The S&P 500 just fell, and I believe it was the S&P 500, I had a call on the S&P 500 like a year out, again, not knowing anything about options when it comes to calls and puts, and I had a call for the S&P 500 a year out, like a ridiculous amount, like a ridiculous strike, and it just kept falling and falling and falling. It made my portfolio go from 1,200 to a low of, a lot of people actually don't even know that this happened, but it went to a low around negative $40, as you guys can see right there, negative $37.97. And then after that, I just kind of gave up after that. When it came to Robinhood portfolio, you can see right over here, boom, I ended it, I finished it, and I was just done. But afterwards, I did find out about the whole dividend investing thing, because I figured there's no way that this doesn't work. People do this. How do people actually invest and make money? There has to be a way to do this. And then when I found out about dividend investing and just buying companies, holding them, and just getting paid through a dividend perspective, went to M1 Finance, and then I eventually switched over to Charles Schwab, which is my current account. And as you guys just saw already, I'm up a significant amount over here. Again, $20,315, 13.13% overall. So when it comes to portfolio gains, guys, again, it really all that matters is just being consistent, right? It's just like when you work out. If you go to the gym one day, you're going to see nothing. If you go to the gym a second day, nothing. It's the more you do it for a consistent amount of time, you will eventually see results. It's just about being consistent. So that's just a comparison for my first portfolio that I ever did to this one. You can see it's a very, very big difference. So now let's take a look at the goals for 2023. And I set these up at the end of 2022. So the first one being reach 3,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Now, unfortunately, this one did not get accomplished. Currently, I think we're at 2,862 as if I'm recording this video. So fortunately, it didn't happen, but we're still going to keep this one on for 2024 because this is just, an ongoing thing, right? Just an ongoing thing. However, for Rumble, we did reach the milestone of 200 subscribers. So I'm actually going to add that to these goals for 2024 for Rumble. So at least for next year, right? Next one, we got start a new show in conjunction with the stock analysis. So back then, I didn't have Mike actually doing videos. And I did get him to do it. So this is what this means. And he started doing technical analysis as well as just market analysis in general. So this is a goal accomplished. Now, the next one is regarding the dividends. Reach a yearly dividend of $6,000, which if we take a look at Charles Schwab's investment income tab, well, my current investment income annually, it is $6,313.37. So this goal, it is 100% reached. So that one is good to go. Now, the next one would have been reached, unfortunately, but man, November just completely screwed me over. And that was make $250 on average when it comes to options premiums. And this was actually going pretty good at the beginning. And then, well, unfortunately, November happened where I lost $725.52. This brought the overall average down a significant amount to $215.70. So unfortunately, if this just wouldn't have happened, this would have been a complete beat. However, I did miss it. So it is what it is. Really can't do anything about that. However, there are a few things that I did learn when it comes to options. I'm going to cover this at the dividend video at the end of next week when all the dividends come in. So I will save that lessons and tips for that video, not for today. Just understand that when it comes to this, unfortunately, I did miss it. I only got $215.70 on average. Next one, it is start non-dividend positions. So I originally just had dividends only companies. However, I really did want to start non-dividend companies as well. And I started on two of them. One of them was Google, where it actually performed pretty good. However, I just only bought like one share and then I eventually just sold it. However, the second one, that would be Crocs. And unfortunately for me, Crocs isn't doing too hot at the moment. With a ton of economic headwinds ahead, well, Crocs right now, as if I'm recording this, it is 11:30 a.m. on the 22nd, guys, of December. This thing is down 4.65%. Now, this is actually interesting because this thing is down 4.65% today, not because of themselves, but because Nike came out with saying that they were reporting much less sales than what they were expecting. If you look at any shoe company right now today, they're all down. So it's not really their fault, but it is what it is. I bought this thing at an average price of around $116.65. Right now, $97.57. So I am down on this one, unfortunately, but I have no plans of selling it. In fact, I was actually planning on holding it until around May, maybe June of 2024, because that's when my capital gains benefits actually start, right? That's when the long-term capital gains actually begins. So I don't want to sell this company just yet, even though I am down around $1,800 or so. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. I'm still holding true to my fundamental analysis, and we'll see what happens in about a year or so, right? Or when even we get Q4 data in Q1 of 2024. So when it comes to this goal, this one is accomplished. Now, the next one is reach 4% on yield on cost for my portfolio. So this one, actually, we did hit it, and it was thanks to all the REIT companies that fell, all the REIT companies and all the utility companies that fell a few months ago. So this one was actually reached. Now, if you guys want the proof, well, I'm going to show you guys right now. And for that, we have to do some math. So coming back over here, again, my annual investment income, it is $6,313.37. So if we go over here, calculator, we do $6,313.37, and now we divide this by the cost basis in the portfolio, which ends up being $154,741.65. The cost basis is just how much of my money I have put into the portfolio. We get the yield. So if we divide this by 154 741.65. This gives us the yield. So if we multiply this by 100, we get the yield to be 4.08%. So that's the proof as to how this goal of reach 4% yield on cost actually got accomplished. So there you go. That one's done too. And the last one is beat the S&P 500. Man, I did not think it was going to be that difficult. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. No way, not even close. In fact, here's the proof. If we take a look at Charles Schwab, we can actually compare my portfolio to that of the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Russell. And comparing this to the S&P 500, you can see that the S&P 500 gained year to date 25.65%. My portfolio only did 6.8. Yikes, that is not good. So that's a major discrepancy. Did not beat this one, guys. Beating the S&P 500 is very difficult. Now, a lot of you may say, so then why don't you just buy the S&P 500? Well, I have a different strategy. I want dividends, right? I want to buy into companies that give me an income. If you're not willing to do that, right, if you just want to buy into the market, yes, just buy the S&P 500. You will eventually, you will make money just by buying the S&P 500. So when it came to this one, unfortunately, it did not work either. So those are the goals that I beat and which ones I failed. Now for 2024, I actually want to take some out of here. Obviously, the ones that we already started, those ones are gone, right? However, I do want to take out a few of them that I don't think I'm going to accomplish anymore. And that will also be, well, make $250 per month as well as beat the S&P 500. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, unfortunately. Mainly because a lot of stuff is actually going to change here for the channel. Or at least, sorry, a lot of stuff is going to change here when it comes to my investing, okay? Because, well, I have also a life that I need to take care of as well. And my wife, unfortunately, needs a new car. And by new, I mean new to her. So next year, one of my priorities is definitely going to be buy my wife a car. So that's going to be one of the goals right over here. But not just buy her a car. I want to buy her a car with my investing income. Basically, I want to sell enough covered calls. I want to, or cash equivalents, get enough dividends to cover a down payment. And then that down payment be high enough so that way my dividend monthly income covers the monthly income for the car. Basically, I'm not paying for it with my labor. So that's the goal when it comes to this one for 2024. The other goal would be the fact that I want to actually buy my first rental property. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's just housing has just been through the roof, and I'm getting to the point that I just want to grow my different sources of income at this point, or at least grow my different passive sources of income. I know rental property isn't totally passive, but it is another source which I would like to actually do. So this one's going to be another one. Start saving to buy one. Probably isn't going to happen next year. It'll be more along the lines of like 2025, but it is what it is. I really do want to start saving for buying a rental property. And the last one that we're going to do is, as I said it earlier in the video, let's try to reach our Rumble goal, guys, for around 300 subscribers. Right now we're at what, 219? So let's try to reach 300 subscribers by the end of the year 2024. So these are the goals that I have set in mind for 2024. Obviously, if more come, then I will add them. If not, then it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But definitely not as exciting as it was for 2023. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed. Again, if you're starting off, you guys saw my first portfolio. It was bad. It was really bad. So you're going to make mistakes. That's perfectly fine. It is what it is. You learn from them, right? You learn from them. Just like I learned a lot from doing options from my first year ever. So at least actually understanding them, right? So it is what it is. You learn. Just be consistent with it. And these are the goals. If you guys can help me come up with any more, please leave it down in the comment section below. That would really help. So that pretty much does it for this video, everybody. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help here with the algorithm on YouTube as well as Rumble. Of course, Merry Christmas. And we will see you all next time. Peace out.